Hey everyone, it's Jack and Ross from Cultaholic. Ross, I believe it's a 4-day week.
How?
I think it's Good Friday on Friday.
Good.
And then Easter Monday the following Monday.
The resurrection of Jesus Christ.
How glorious. But in sort of more modern news, we've got various different bits of wrestling to talk about, so let's just crack right on with the headlines. First of all, Kurt Angle has revealed why he lost his final match at WrestleMania 35. Secondly, we take a look at the reasons Batista claims he wanted Triple H as his final opponent. And finally, WWE have signed Undertaker to a new and improved contract, but for what reason? So first of all, Kurt Angle did a Q&A session on his Facebook where someone asked why did he lose, well I'm guessing multiple people asked, why did you lose to Baron Corbin in your final match at WrestleMania 35? We all thought that Kurt Angle was going to win and then further shenanigans would occur, maybe involving John Cena. But that didn't happen. It was a clean victory for Baron, and Kurt Angle gave a bit of a speech.
Yeah,
that was it. But he has given the reason. He, as I said on a Q&A on his Facebook page, he put, I would have liked to go out with a win, but I understand why it didn't occur. Many people believe that I should have had a different opponent. Maybe, maybe not. But my argument as to why it should have been Corbin is pretty strong. As a Hall of Famer and a legend in WWE, he's just called us.
I'm good, me. I'm Kurt Angle.
As a Hall of Famer and a legend in WWE, I came to my final match last Sunday. It was my retirement match as a legend or Hall of Famer or whatever you want to call me.
A really good wrestler.
My job is to lead the WWE by doing the honours for a younger talent. I did that. Yes, I would have. Yes, I wish I would have. Oh no, sorry, that's a totally different question that I'm going to talk about later on. Yeah. Oh. So that's why Kurt Angle. Well, it follows wrestling tradition, doesn't it?
Time-honoured tradition. You lose your last match. Doesn't matter who you are. Someone's going to put in the comments now. Oh, but so and so didn't lose the last match. But on the whole, you lose your last match when you're going out.
Yeah, and I think. I do see his point, and it's not what I wanted to particularly see.
Well, it's just the thing, and it's like, we obviously understand that Corbin's a guy on the rise in WWE. He's a potential main eventer. Is he? I don't know if anybody actually wants to see that, but it seems that WWE have positioned this guy to be that in the future. So Angle doing this furthers that, because he can now go around saying, I beat Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. I know it's not quite the same Kurt Angle as the one many people might remember, but still, it's
but it follows the same sort of logic. I do understand why, but I think the counter argument to that would have been like, Angle's career was so spectacular that he deserved an opponent maybe he had more of a storied history with rather than a current feud. And I get that it made sense in terms of the storyline because they hated each other for months, but I think it should have been.
I guess you got to look at WrestleMania as a whole, didn't you? Because we got all these feel-good moments that we wanted, so that was one of the ones to bring us back down again before going back up. That's
a very good point. Someone else on the Q&A asked, does he wish that he'd wrestled more when he returned to WWE in early 2017? Because just prior to that, he had been wrestling various different independent promotions, including one that we were fairly close to. And he said, yes, I wish I would have wrestled more when I came back to WWE in early 2017. I was wrestling really well then, and he was, to be fair.
He was.
Remember those matches? We saw that. Because of my inactivity of being GM, my body started to get arthritic. I got tighter, more sore, and less flexible than when I was active 2 years ago. In other words, the inactivity of not wrestling consistently led me to retirement a little faster, but I can't complain. I loved what I was doing in WWE.
Literally ring rust.
Yes. Immediately upon reading that, my brain went, bollocks, he was just knackered. But then I thought, no, I saw that with my own eyes. He was much more mobile.
He was, yeah, but I guess that's what happens with old people, isn't it? With the old oil in the joints and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
I thought you're a bit of a dick saying that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Got to keep them going, otherwise I do go.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here looking like this as if I'm a bastion of the human anatomy.
I do understand what you mean though, but I think that at first when I read that, I just thought he's just wishing that he wrestled more because he's the wrestler machine, he loves wrestling. But no, I think there is some truth to that actually.
There was a rapid decline from like 2016 when we saw him like in the flesh to what he was doing. Yeah.
Literally doing cartwheels in the ring. Yeah.
So it's a sad little end, I guess, but you know, he's had a good career.
Yes. Now let's talk about Batista, who of course lost to Triple H at WrestleMania 35. He walks for miles inside this pit of danger. He's been on Lillian Garcia's podcast. Everyone just seems to love Lillian.
She seems a very nice lady.
She does seem like a lovely woman, yes. But she was talking about why did Batista want particularly to face Triple H in his final...
Because he held him down for so many years,
Well, it turns out it was the very opposite of the storyline reason. He said, not only did he put me over 3 times clean in that ring to make me a star, but he also took the time to have me ride with him and have me pick his brain. He groomed me to be a star in that company, so I just wanted to finish out my career for him by saying thank you and go out laying on my back for the guy.
And he also probably bought me many strippers.
Because it was Evolution.
Because that's what they did.
You saw it in the Tron. Yeah, they always did that. I think that's a nice story.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I don't know what else you can say about it, really.
No, it's just sort of, I guess, a few people were thinking, why particularly did you want to face Triple H? But then if you look at, I suppose people were questioning it just because he'd already wrestled him so many times and already beaten him so many times. But now that he's come out and said that, it all makes perfect sense.
Nice bit of closure.
Repay the favour, yeah. And yes, it was a bit long, the match. But towards the end of a very long show. But, you know, it was a nice...
It was a fun match. Had some unbelievable moments.
The pliers.
Yes, the pliers. The super sledgehammer off the stairs.
The bit where there was 2 sledgehammers next to each other, but Triple H picked one, particularly that one. He was like, no, I want this one.
More girth, I imagine.
Yeah.
Triple H's mum in the crowd laughing like an evil woman.
Just laughing at Batista.
Yeah, laughing at Batista's pain.
When was that?
Just near the start with just before the pliers bit, you see Triple H's man when he's getting like all the tools out the toolbox. She's sitting there.
Oh God, she's the king of the dick joke. That woman apparently.
Yes.
According to the Hall of Fame.
That speech wasn't very nice, was it?
Not
in hindsight.
Not about his man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, well, we talked about that last week. But yeah, that creative member / former Chikara wrestler who quit. Right. Well, let's move on to the next one. Now, let's talk about The Undertaker, because you may have heard that he's signed a new WWE contract. That's according at least to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And it runs in conjunction with like another story that's going on about The Undertaker at the same time. So you may know that Kenny McIntosh, friend of the channel, Inside the Ropes and all that, has booked Undertaker for appearances in the UK. But originally it was a Q&A, and then for circumstances well beyond Kenny's control, that can't happen anymore. And putting all the pieces together, it seems like those 2 stories are like, it's like a cause and effect type thing.
Yep.
So apparently Undertaker, when he stopped wrestling so regularly, he got himself like a booking agent or something, which helped him negotiate that fee that you reported on earlier this year, which was
20 grand an hour.
20 grand an hour for an appearance.
Yeah.
Then he was announced for Starcast, and then he wasn't. Then he was taken off Starcast. Is he still?
I think he's still going.
I can't work it out.
I've got no idea. Well, if there's anything to go by, he will not be doing a show, but he might be doing a meet and greet. Because Taker is still doing the meet and greet portion of his shows with Kenny, but he's not doing the Q&A.
So it might be the same sort of thing here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Reading between the lines.
So he's still advertised?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. So Taker is sort of being reined in a bit by WWE, and it seems as though this whole sort of new lease of life he had, where he wanted to go and do these appearances outside of WWE, sometimes in speaking roles, breaking kayfabe, which he never ever used to do. Well, never ever really used to do. That sort of encouraged WWE to tie him down with an improved contract, and basically it seems as though it's put several limitations on the dead man.
Well, they're literally paying him not to take bookings anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's literally the reason they're doing it seems, on the outskirts.
Do you think it makes sense? Because he's not an active... He is a huge star,
But he's back now because apparently they're building towards a match between Elias and The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia.
Really?
That's what the Prince wants to see or something. That's the rumour and innuendo going about at the minute.
Oh.
I don't know. I just keep thinking of John Oliver and these independent contractor status, isn't this like this just, goes completely against that, doesn't it?
It does. I imagine they paid him quite well, though.
Yeah, I imagine they do. It's a bloody bummer for Kenny. Like, I feel so sorry for the bloke.
Me too. He's he's explained as much as he can on social media and stuff, and to be honest, it isn't his fault at all.
He's done well to sort of, bring the situation back to some sort of goodness. He's got Mick Foley to replace Taker for the Q&A portion, so you can go and see Taker for the meet and greet bit, then a Q&A with Mick Foley about the rivalries with The Undertaker, so that's still good. He's
managed to, it's a pretty decent alternative, especially because it seems very much as though like Kenny was basically told one thing, and then it was like...
But I think it was October that booked him, and then all of a sudden we're here in April, and the cards have fallen, changed.
Doesn't seem like he was given much notice, but it's a shame for Kenny. Hopefully the 2 is still a massive success. And that seems to be the whole thing going on with The Undertaker. It could be a sign of things to come with other stars trying to get independent bookings. And
that was Angle's, another one that's been announced for Starcast. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him.
Right. And I guess, like, I guess it's just a case of WWE trying to be the monopoly on their own history in a weird way. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's quite a complicated one, but the long and short of it is, Undertaker is sitting on a nice new contract with WWE. And finally, Sexy Star, formerly of Lucha Underground and AAA.
And shoot fighting.
In
a wrestling ring.
Yeah, at Triple Mania that one year when she legitimately... Was it Taya?
It was Rosemary, wasn't
Rosemary, and she legitimately popped her arm out of a socket for just no reason.
Just for the crack.
Just no reason.
What you doing it? A bit of banter with the lasses.
Yeah. It obviously attracted a terrible, but justified backlash online, because it's just not on. She's had an MMA, she's moved into actual shoot fighting, she's had her first MMA contest and she won, but it's more the aftermath and what she said in the aftermath of that fight.
Now I felt the need to say what I've just said there before you read this out, just to paint a picture of this lady.
Because she's not the most popular person in the wrestling industry.
No.
It's not as if everyone's just jumped on her for no reason.
Yeah.
Because, don't know if you noticed this, wrestlers say stupid things online all the time.
Everybody does.
Well, yeah, everybody does, not just wrestlers, but she said something stupid and people have ridiculed her and been quick to as well. She said that she was a key factor in WWE's women's revolution, despite not being in WWE. The reason she said this is because she won Lucha Underground's top championship as a woman, and you don't often see women hold the top championships in male-dominated promotions, but...
it's an outstanding achievement by itself.
Oh yeah,
but just don't bring it into that. What are you doing that for?
And the timing's a bit off as well, because while this happened, the women's revolution, the seeds had already been sown. We'd already seen that match between, was it Natalya and Charlotte in NXT, and then Paige had already, we'd already seen the rise of her to the main roster and everything, and it was all well on its way. It may have even, I got a bit confused. Sean Ross Sapp, I think you told me, said that this took place shortly after that big triple threat women's match at WrestleMania.
Depends when that aired, I guess. We should have researched that a bit more.
I'm not sure if it was the airing or the taping, but the point is it happened all around the same time as all this. So the women's revolution was fully underway. So on Twitter, I've just picked a couple of the responses there. The Hurricane said, just like how Hornswoggle was a key factor in 205 Live success. And Nick Aldis saying he invented wrestling.
Well, I never knew that.
Nick Aldis?
Yeah,
I know.
Well done, Nick.
He's the NWA World Heavyweight Champion as well. Recently defended it successfully last night, actually, by DQ against Colt Cabana. Well done, Nick. I know.
What a bastard.
And then Marty Scurll stole the belt and ran off.
What a bastard.
I know. Right, on that exciting point, that's been all the news for today. Thanks very much for watching.
Bye.
Thanks very much for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments section down below. You can follow Cultaholic on Twitter at Cultaholic and on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you enjoy what we do, then please do check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Cultaholic, where you can pledge. And don't forget, of course, most importantly of all, to hit subscribe and to join us.